Hello, everybody. My name is Luis Sanacori Ramos. I am Boricua from Guanica and Calle, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I'd like to welcome everyone to this part one of Taino cleansing ceremony. It's going to be a four-part video presentation in which I want to try to offer or share my experience of ceremony in a Taino way. This is not a traditional ceremony where it's safe to say did not occur in 1492 or in 1200 AD. This happened many years ago when I was praying and studying about the Taino way. So I just want to share it with the world. Um, you don't even have to be Taino to practice what I'm about to teach. This is something that's universal that I found, and I want to share it with all of you. This is not a ceremony where I'm going to help people become um, holy, sacred, or powerful behikes or shamans. This is a basic ceremony for all people that I learned through guidance of others as well, of what it means to cleanse. Growing up Puerto Rican or Boricua, many of us have been exposed to, the baths or baños, and we've been exposed to tobacco, smoke, or cigars through various ceremonies like Eperitimo or Santeria and so on. So, what I'm going to do, and this is the first part of this film, the cleansing ceremony. First part, calling, la llamada. We have to call upon a source greater than ourselves. Very similar to the AA model. You have to reach out to a higher power. You're going to find a place that's very quiet right now. In my altar here, I have candles surrounding me. I have like 4 candles. I have a glass of water. I have a shell with some charcoal where I'm going to burn some tabanuco, which is a resin we find in the tabanuco tree in the yunque. Also, I have a candle here, so I have 4 candles. I have my little drum here that I use for ceremonies, and I have a little rattle that I use. It's actually a pot that I found right here in Brooklyn, New York. So what I want to do is also part of the cleansing as well. I have Florida water. This is lavender mix. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to share what I do. I always do this in darkness because I always want to feel like I'm in a cave. So part one. Oh, by the way, the Vehicas of old, the medicine people, when they've done ceremonies or funeral rites, it was always done in those caves in Borinquen. And as you all know, Quisqueya, Jamaica, Haiti, all the islands in the Great Antilles and Lesser Antilles, Guyana, South America, Mexico, and all these places where you find caves, very sacred. And it's sacred because they were used by the ancestors to commune with the ancestors. So I consider them sacred because it's a place where we can go and we can, leave the busy world and really focus on the ancient ways, which is basically just be by yourself, chill out, enjoy nature, enjoy the Mother Earth, the spas like in Cueva del Indio and Arecibo, where you can see the waters, the warm waters. You can take a bath with the minerals and so on. You can see the petroglyphs from the ancient peoples, our ancestors, and so on. So what I'm going to do, what I normally do is, and what a lot of people do in the Caribbean, they take off Florida water and you just smudge yourself with the water. What I do, I just take my forehead, my neck. You can wash your hands. It's good stuff. You can also, it's also very flammable, so be careful with flames. Sometimes I use a copper bowl and I pour some in there and I ignite it. You get a nice fire, smokeless fire. But this time I'm going to use charcoal. I'm going to use some tabanuco that you can find in the botanica or on the islands. You can use some copal as well. You can find. I'm just going to burn that. And just smell the aroma, the sweetness, being connected to the trees, the forest. Um, that good smoke that's gonna help us center us into what is good. And by good, I mean the positive. Okay, positive reinforcement of this ceremony. It's all about goodness, the positive. So when you center yourself with the smoke and you think about all the things in your life, you have to understand that there is something greater than ourselves. And since it's a Taino ceremony, I'm going to call upon the 12 Zemies. Zemies in the ancient world for the Taino people are sacred beings. And for me, in my studies and also in my prayer, I like to consider these sacred beings as puzzle pieces. And these puzzle pieces, when you put them together and to connect them, they are, for me, they represent God, or my image of God, the Taino God. And this God has many names. Or I like to say he's the spirit of all spirits, the highest spirit of all spirits. And the spirit is in everyone, in everything, every living creature, every living being. This spirit, this power is all around. Then what's going to happen is you're going to call the spirit of spirits. For me, I like to focus on the Zemies, like our ancestors. What they did was they focused on the sacred being. That's the spirit of spirits and the manifestations of the spirit of spirits. Manifested all these different manifestations of the power that is God, or spirit of spirits. And in Taino, we believe in Zemies. So I'm going to call, for me, I always call the Zemies, and this is one of my first songs. It's called the Taino calling song. So I call upon the Zemies. And these Zemies, in many traditions, they can call them guardians, or they can call them deities. I know in a lot of Buddhist traditions, they have these guardians against evil, or many other religions that you may practice, which is all right. In Taino, this is a way of life. It's not a religion, it's a way of life. And it's what you make out of it. And this is what I make. I like to share with the world. So part one is cleansing. Part one of the cleansing is the calling. So little by little, I'm going to break down each Zemi. So Okama means listen, listen. Sometimes you say Osama, but I like to say Okama, which means listen. So what I'm saying is, I'm not telling myself to listen, but I'm asking the Zemis, I'm asking the spirit of the spirits to listen to me. This is like a plea of help. I don't come as a perfect being. I don't come as someone who has all the answers. I come very hurt. As humans, we carry a lot of stuff here and in our hearts. So I come as a person who's hurt, a person who needs help, who needs nourishment. This is spiritual nourishment. So we want to follow along. This is part of the Taino calling song. O kama, o kama, atabe guavansesh. So Atabeda is one of the principal Zemies. She represents the feminine of the still waters, the lakes, the rivers, also lactation, nourishment, giver of life. For many of us, Mother Earth, the serpent woman who gives birth. Also, I also call upon Guavansesh. Guavansesh is also that divine presence. She is the carrier of the wind, the manipulator of the wind, the huracan, the hurricane. Also, and the hurricane, when it does, it purifies, it cleanses. She represents the menstrual cycle. So Atabe represents the lactation, life. Wawansesh destroys life but purifies the menstrual cycle or blood. Now I'm going to call upon two other semis in the feminine side or manifestation of the spirit of spirits. O Kama, O Kama, Oinaye. Sometimes in these ceremonies, I do have forgot to get a disclaimer. Sometimes you receive messages, and in these messages, it's very important because that means you're making connection to the spirit world. And sometimes they call them daydreaming or visions, whatever language you use. And I just received some nice messages. So I took a pause there. And sometimes, you have to really space out. When you space out, you make a connection, and that's a blessing. So so then the semi that I called was Boy Nayed. Boy Nayed is the one. It's the semi. Um, he tells us that a storm is coming. It's the clouds, the gray clouds, and this is the rain that's going to come to fertilize the crops. So that's a good thing. That's very good. It's also the feminine. And then I call upon Watauba. Watauba is thunder. For many traditions, call it the thunder beings. So I saw some nice images there for a minute of the thunder. O Kama, O Kama, Maharu Koatiristie. So right now I'm calling upon Maharu. Maharu is the semi. That's no clouds. When you walk, I'm thinking of a Sunday morning, you go outside to the park, and there's no clouds at all. That is Maharu. It's amazing. And then I call upon Goa Christie. Goa Christie is the feminine power as well that carries the water up the mountain. See that vapor, up the mountains, the smoky mountains. That's Goa Christie carrying the water. These are all semis of the feminine side of God, of the spirit of spirits. Now I'm going to go to the masculine. O Kama, O Kama, Yokahu Mautide Kwayama. So right now I'm asking that Yokahu Bagua Marakoti listen to my plea. So Yokahu is the Lord of the Yuka. Okay, and there's many semis. You can find the 3 pointers. For you Taino out there, I know you know this, and with the big eyes, the hands, and they will bury this. Our ancestors will bury it in the soil, and the yucca will grow. Yucca, who's very important in this masculine power. It's the sun, or Atave, giving birth to this son who brings us nourishment, the yucca, our daily bread. If you're Christian or Jewish, the manna. So this is sustenance, this is life. And so that's Yoka Hu Bagwa Manakoti. He has no father and he's of the waters. That'll be for another show. Interpret these semis. Okay, then that's the other semi I mentioned after Yoka Hu is Mount Yauriye Wayaba. And that is the Lord of the Dead. Okay, the Lord of the Dead. And I often I'm often ignited by this semi because I love the dark. I love the nighttime. And often you think of our ancestors. You think of our relatives who are with us sometimes in dreams, or in visions. You wake up on early morning and you see your grandmother. You're talking to her. That's it. Matire guayaba. Somebody symbolized the bat eating the berry. Okay, now I'm gonna go on to two other semis. Okama, Okama, by Brahma, Obiegwabian. So by Brahma, this is the semi of he's the guardian of the soil, the earth, the farmers. It's the fertilization, of the soil by Brahma, fertilizing that beautiful earth so food can grow. And I'm also I'm calling out to listen to me, and that's Obiegwabian. And Obiegwabian, he is the guardian of the door, the guardian of Guave, or of the other world, the spiritual world. He's the guardian there. I got two more, 11 and 12. Whoa, kama, ukama, baraguabae, korokote. Paraguabael, he is the this masculine semi. He is definitely the guardian of plants, the guardian of fish. Very powerful semi. And then I called upon Gorokote. Gorokote is a very powerful semi, masculine energy as well. Gorokote, it represents sexual delight, romance. So if you ever have any issues with romance or a relationship you're probably in that needs help, call upon Gorogote. So those are the 12 semis that I call. Like I said, they're like puzzle pieces for me. And put them together and you can have a nice glimpse of the spirit of spirits. So let me chant and you can follow along with me without no interruption. I'll put some more smoke here. Remember, this is a non-traditional Taino cleansing ceremony, part 1. Hopefully one day, maybe 1,000 years from now, will be a traditional ceremony. Because this is what we do. We create new traditions each generation. Okama, Okama, Atabi Guavansesh. Okama, Okama, Wainaye Guatahuba. Okama, Okama. Wakama, Okama, Maruko Christie. Wakama, Okama, Yokahuba Wamarokoti. Wakama, Okama. Mautirarie Guayaba. Okama, Okama. Pai Brahma, Obieguavia. Okama, Okama. Paraguabae Corocote. So I received a lot of good messages during this calling. So usually when we cleanse, when you receive these messages, you're doing well. And be proud of yourself if you get to that point where you feel you made a connection. Step 1 of 4. That means you're doing a good job, and really, you gotta pat yourself on the back because you're making the effort, and the spirits are listening to you. And as I was singing the the part of the feminine, Maharu and Goakiriste. I got some nice, powerful messages. And now that we're entering summertime, during a time of COVID-19, where a lot of people are dying, also a lot of unrest with the protesting, we need the sun in our life. We need sun. We need that vitamin D for healing, and it's all good. And this is why we're here doing these ceremonies. So part one is about calling. Okay. Now usually after the Taino calling song, I do or I should say, during the Taino calling song, I invoke a blessing. Taino ti, Taino ti, Taino ti, Taino ti in the Taino tradition is a language. It's blessings upon you. So when I sing Taino ti, that's the Zemies telling me blessings upon you. We are here and we're listening to you. Okay? So, Taino ti, oh, Taino ti, Taino ti, Taino ti, Taino ti. So that's acknowledging, that's me acknowledging the spirit of spirits giving me this blessing that it's going to listen to what I'm about to say and what I'm about to do, that I'm not alone. It's a very personal connection where you're going to take time. So this is, I guess you can say it's a form of meditation, but this is a little ritual that you want to give yourself. And then then when I do to wrap it up, I call upon the sacred masculine and feminine masculine, Atawe and Yokahu. Again, giving birth. I'm thinking of birth at this point, that I'm giving birth to a new self. Okay? Every day when you do these ceremonies, you're giving birth to a new self. That's why the caves is so important. You're going back to the womb of Mother Earth, and when you come out the ceremony, you're coming out as a new person. And this is what ceremony is all about. Finding that rhythm, okay? And being a new person. So I like to end this part one of Taino cleansing ceremony. And once again, whatever way you have, this is my way. You can create your way. I call upon 12 Zemies. Put the puzzles together. Calling, 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 I'm calling. Okay? So I'm gonna put some more smoke down here. And I thank of everyone who's out there watching this film. Thank you for coming. Thank you for clicking. And whatever comments you may have, and maybe one day you want to share with me something that you did, and I'd like to also try it myself. So this is something, it's all about sharing. It's all about sharing. And once again, I'd like to thank you all. Taino ti, oh, Taino ti, Taino ti, Atabe suimako, o yokahu amatame, mamona yokahu wama.